have joined the Antisocial Network.
Yeah. Mask up, stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
All right. Welcome to Yeah, Uh-huh. Today we're here to talk about the movies of the dearly departed Robert Redford, who passed away in 2025, last year. Had a very distinguished career, and we have a very good panel, I believe, for this episode. We have some returning people, and we have a new addition for this format, and John Wayne S. III, certainly not a new addition to the podcast. He's been on quite often. But so let's go around. We have Bill Allen, who, of course, is a friend of Aaron and I. He's an educator from in North Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Kakalaki.
Originally from Cincinnati, a buddy of ours, a baseball fan. He's in our baseball league. And he has a background. You've done some radio work, right, Bill?
Yes, I've DJ'd for 104.9 The Surf down here.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You have a great voice.
Thank you.
So certainly not a novice to broadcasting. And then we also have John Wayne S. III, who's a filmmaker. He has such titles as Ebony Hustle and Hard Holiday. He currently has a web series going. It's sort of mysterious. It's kind of cool. If you want to follow that, I've been posting some links to that. So welcome, John.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Then, of course, we have Jeremy Bryant, the host of
Maniacal
Music Musings, which I've been on about 15 to 20 times. I should know what
Say the word.
Yeah.
And Paranormal, the New Normal. Is that the other?
Right, right. So welcome, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Yep. Dean Bose of the Family Plot podcast. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. Really intriguing podcast where he and his family cover a topic or incident from history, break that down, and actually interject a lot of personality and family banter in between. It's very engaging, very highly listenable podcast. And of course,
Great title, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Easy to find. You know, that's what a good podcast should be. It should have a very clear, defined title, be easy
You're
to
the only
find,
one who can't find ours.
and to have a targeted audience. You know, no hyphens in between. It'd have to be there in order to find it. That type of shit.
Double H's. Gotta
Yeah,
have the double H's.
and, yeah. So, but of course we know, and Aaron's our co-host, and actually the kind of the master of ceremonies for this. This is this format, and Robert Redford was his idea. He kind of brought it up.
Yeah, he got bumped ahead of was it the Coen brothers?
No,
Yeah, he moved to the front of the line when he passed.
Right. So there's our introductions. Got a very good cast. We're missing Harley here. That kind of sucks. But,
Yeah.
Good luck.
Unfortunately, she had I'm assuming, plumbing emergency.
At work, she had to go into the office to address a plumbing issue, but she did give us our rankings. And her
cool.
movie, I liked her movie quite a bit. So I feel like we'll be able to talk about her movie when her turn comes up. All right, so I guess we can go ahead and commence. Aaron, why don't you go ahead and oh, wait a minute. Let me say a few words about. I mean, we're talking about Robert Redford here, right? We're talking about. I did write down a few notes. I don't want to belabor, but I do like to add a few fun facts about our subject, Mr. Redford here. I did not know this. But
Fun fact.
The founder of the Sundance Institute and the Sundance Film Festival. I had no idea. Why couldn't I make that connection?
I don't know how you didn't know that. Yeah.
I just assumed I don't know. I thought Sundance had some sort of like holistic meaning or some kind of, I don't know.
Thought it was, I actually thought Sundance, fun dancing. So I never put that together.
Yeah.
I always just thought.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jeremy.
I was gonna say I always just thought it was because it was I think it takes place in Arizona if I'm not mistaken, and I always just thought it was
I think
Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I always thought it was just oh, I guess it kind of is, but I always thought it was the Native American based in name because of where it was taking place.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, it's got like double meaning. Of course, he was the Sundance Kid and Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, but also um, there's an effect that if you're high in the mountains, apparently in Utah or any mountainous region or something like that, if you're high enough in the mountains and you can see the reflections off the bold face of the mountains, that it creates like a dance effect of the light, where the shadows and stuff like that, that's kind of mesmerizing. So there was a double meaning. Redford didn't. He had 4 partners when they came up with the Sundance Film Festival. 3 of them loved this title. Redford did not want the attention that it brought to him, but he was outruled. So, and that's why it's called the Sundance Film Festival. But he was 89 years old when he died.
I vividly remember a little HBO kind of mini documentary that they would play in the early days, like 1980-ish, like between movies. And one of them was all about the Sundance Film Festival. And I guess that's why, Robert Redford was in about 70% of that thing. And I guess that's, I knew kind of from the beginning of when I knew what Sundance was. I
Yeah.
knew it was him from the jump.
Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, I thought sun, fun, dance, and it's it's a ski resort. So,
Well, yeah, if you wouldn't know, you'd say, "Oh, that must be some sort of beach environment or something like that." But he was born in Santa Monica in 1936. He suffered a mild case of polio when he was a kid. He was a terrible student. He was more of an artist, more of a humanitarian, or he was into the humanities, arts,
he
literature,
painted.
that type of thing. He loved to drink and party, so he loved doing that more than going to school. His first big break may have been when he appeared in The Twilight Zone in 1962, where he played the role of Death.
And that is a great episode of The Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a classic.
I heard him interviewed about it, and he'd forgotten it, and they played it back for him, and he was like, it's like totally like revisiting the whole role and everything. It's kind of interesting. On NPR. He's an environmentalist and advocate for Native American causes. He's a fan of West Coast jazz. One quote I got from him is, "Money is protected by rules," is a concept that repulsed him. Redford explained in an interview on NPR's Fresh Air. He kind of pursued freedom his whole life, which is why he kind of liked this whole Western motive when he was out in Utah, and of course, having been born in California. He felt like the role of Sundance Kid was inhibiting, kind of inhibited some of his freedom, made him more famous than he ever imagined he would be. Paul Newman gave him advice on the set. Have a mind like mine, he said, empty. So, in other words, don't let the fame get to your head. Don't let it consume you. Yeah, so there you go. Not a comprehensive bio by any stretch or anything, but just
Now,
some
I
facts.
don't know if this is true, but I heard that Robert Redford's son is named Paul, and Paul Newman's son is named Robert.
Huh.
Hmm.
I didn't know that.
Is that true? Does anybody know?
I had not heard that.
No idea.
Yeah.
I
He lost a
Before-
child to SIDS. I know that.
Mm,
Oh, that's my wife's biggest fear with the baby. But
yeah.
It's terrible.
I mean, it's funny. It's a kind of funny because
He
I
lost his
almost
mother
didn't-
really early, and he lost a child early.
Mm.
It's kind of funny because I only knew Robert Redford by name before this. Before you guys maybe go down this path, I
Mm-hmm.
knew by name. I have never seen one movie he was in besides his small roles in Marvel.
Mm.
Really?
And I've never seen those.
I know-
I've heard him
Yeah.
talk about it.
They were very small roles. He's not like a major character in any of the movies he was in.
Cameos, pretty much.
It's a government. He plays like a government agent. I'm not even sure who the hell he plays in it. I really am not. But
I thought he was
I
maybe
just know
the
he was in-
president. Yeah, maybe not.
No. Harrison Ford played the president in the newest one, but he was never the president as far as I know in the other one. Well, was he? I really don't know.
No, I think he was an agent, Jeremy. I think he was just an agent, worked for a government.
Yeah, I think it was just
Mm.
he worked. I think he had
Harrison
something to do
Ford
with
too.
like
He
Well, Harrison Ford played the president in Captain America: Brave New World because he's the Red Hulk. But
Yeah, he's the Red Hulk. I didn't realize he was president though.
yeah, the president becomes Red Hulk.
It's
Oh,
William
he
Hurt, right?
becomes president.
Well,
He
I
took
heard
over
him.
the William Hurt role.
Yeah, he took over the William Hurt role because William Hurt, yeah, passed.
Well, I heard him say in this interview, I listened to 2 NPR interviews, and he really enjoyed playing these Marvel roles. Like, I guess a lot of, like, you think about the Tony Stark, the guy who played Tony Stark. You know, he always did a lot of kind of underground roles.
RDJ. Yep.
Yeah, but then you know they really enjoyed the opportunity to play these in these superhero movies at one point. But anyway, the way we do this is each of our panelists presents their choice for the best movie by Robert Redford. In this case, it could be acting or directing, and we vote on those lists and come up with a Felix for the best Robert Redford movie of the podcast, alternate to Oscar. We revise history and correct history. But although this is not, typically that's for a single year. But Aaron, you're kind of in control of the podcast here. So how are we going to go ahead and let people?
Well, let's see. I guess Dean was my first received vote, but Bill's going first because of his smirk.
All right.
Bill's primary nomination was Ordinary People, and his backup was The Natural.
All right, I'll take it away. I was kind of torn between both. I think if I went with Ordinary People because I taught psychology, and when I did it, it was a movie that was 40 years old at the time, and my students, 17 and 18-year-old kids, voted it number 2 out of all the movies that we did. The only one to beat it was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But I was shocked that it was the second oldest movie that I had on there, and the kids just loved it. I mean, they got into the whole thing. So in honor of them, I went with my psychology class and Ordinary People. What was it, right at his first one? I mean, when you come out of the gate and get a best picture right off the bat for it, I guess you can only go down from there. But I mean, if you take the cast, Timothy Hutton, Judge Hurst, Donald Sutherland, Mary Tyler Moore, the young Elizabeth McGovern, one of the Baldwins, Adam Baldwin, and all that. You just take the acting from it. I mean, I thought Redford did a phenomenal job just going across the board. And it was a subject, I mean, it's a subject matter that's touchy, but he made it to where people could relate. And I think that's why my kids could see it. They could see these teenagers and that, and kind of go with what the subject was about. And so that was my thinking behind Ordinary People. Was just, it was fantastically directed by him, obviously. The cast was superb. And it's just one of those things where, I mean, the Judd Hurst, Timothy Hutton, when they get in the thing and he breaks down after Karen had committed suicide, and they do that little bit right there, might be Judd Hurst's finest performance I've seen him do in a movie. It's fantastic.
4 great acting performances in that movie.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why I came out with that one. I could have easily flipped a coin and done The Natural and been just happy with that too. But Ordinary People, that's why I went with it.
I got a lot of problems with The Natural.
You just don't believe
got a
in
laundry list of problems.
But we're not talking about The Natural. We're going just Ordinary People right now. And so that was my pick for Ordinary People. And I mean, all the movies that he's directed after, I got a couple that come close to it. But that might be his best. I mean, like I said, I might put A River Runs Through It and The Conspirator. I thought they were damn good movies too, as far as he directed. But yeah, that's why I went with Ordinary People.
All right. Next
Any,
square here.
Any support or rebuttal?
I mean, I kind of have a thing where like I didn't like that we were picking movies he directed but wasn't in. Like that kind of like defeats the purpose because I thought we were just talking about them as actors really more than anything. I mean, not gonna say I don't think we should talk about them. directing because directing is a talent. But honestly, and I mean, it was a good movie, Ordinary People. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't fall asleep during part of it because I did, but I have a baby, so I fall asleep during everything. But uh, I will say, Judd Hirsch and Donald Sutherland did sell me in that movie a lot. They were really well done. Donald Sutherland, I haven't seen too much of. Now I kind of want to see more of him after seeing him in that movie. Mary Tyler Moore kind of pissed me off and didn't throw me in that movie. I'm not a
She was
big fan of hers to begin with. I'm not a big fan of her to begin with, but I mean that movie just she did her character kind of pissed me off, and I didn't like her acting. It was kind of like just the line. It wasn't like going above and beyond.
She was having a
But
bad hair day that whole movie too. For sure.
that too. But
Yeah.
I
It's
mean
called the
the
80s. It was
monologue
a bad hair decade.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
The monologue that Donald Sutherland gives at the end of that movie though is freaking amazing. Like the monologue he's giving when he's sitting at the kitchen table was just beyond belief good. And
Mhm.
I mean the son kind of pissed me off too. I didn't like him too much either. But Donald Sutherland definitely like made it watchable. That's what I'll say about that movie.
Yeah.
It was
I'm glad you
Judd
mentioned
Hirsch's
Judd
shining
Hirsch.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Judd Hirsch is a good actor. Yeah, and he's
I
very
don't think
likable guy.
I don't think that's Judd Hirsch's best role though. I think his role in Independence Day tops that.
Huh. Interesting.
See,
The
when
speech
I
he
was a kid in high school, I did debate. Big surprise. Um, and the thing is that movie which originally I guess was a play. I never tracked it down. Maybe they just used the script off the movie, but it was at the time one of the most done monologues or duet acting pieces that was done in Missouri at that time. I can't speak for anywhere else, but if I had a nickel for every bad performance out of that movie I saw, I would have a shitload of nickels. Point is that he had great source material, whether the script or whether it was actually a play beforehand.
It
He
was a
had great
play. I
source
just
material.
found verified.
Okay, thank you. Um, but he had great source material, and he had just this great cast that each of them tuned into one character and took it from where the source material is and made it something even better. So, and as a director, that seemed to be his thing, was he'd start with something really good and then it would blossom into something amazing.
Mhm. I thought that Ordinary People was one of my top movies. Robert Redford wasn't just trying to be cool, he was chasing truth.
Mhm.
As a director, instead of most of his pictures he's done, it was about obvious emotions that you can clearly see. It was very internal. And it was one of the first times that people really dealt with mental health. It was a movie about people who seemingly have it all together, but they have a lot of chaos. You look at people, it's like, man, I really want their life, but they really have a lot of chaos in their life. And so he really was able to really bring that forth. And I believe that when he did that movie, it kind of like spurred a lot of like emotional type movies like that for the 80s and 90s, almost kind of set the pace of the stuff that everybody else did out there. So he was more of a change maker. That's the reason why I chose that, because he kind of changed the narrative and he didn't go what he normally is, kind of be funny and stuff like that. Normally, he kind of, as a director, he went out something that was more emotional and personal to him.
Yeah, and I
yeah,
feel like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say he kind of did break the disillusion of suburbia with that movie, and it definitely led to more.
Yeah. My whole thing with him is the person that he came across as in the interviews that we watched and the little like you said, the little mini documentaries. It seemed like he came across in his directorial style
Mm.
kind of spare and honest.
I would agree with that. That's the only movie that he won an Academy Award for, right?
Mm.
As a director or as an actor or anything.
Yeah, he was nominated for Sundance, I think.
Okay.
Or was it The Sting? He was nominated for The Sting.
All right. Aaron, who's next?
All right. Next is going to be John. And let's see, his primary was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And his backup was All the President's Men.
Mhm. So I like the All the President's Men because it was a movie that was smart and intelligent. And it showed that you can have those type of thrillers with dialogue driven and just sticking fact. He was very conscious. He was very civil minded in this movie, very straightforward. So it made it once again, it set a pace that it's okay to have these type of movies and they actually can make money and people actually go and see them. In the past, stuff like that really wouldn't work because people would get kind of bored. But I think him coming on, working on the movie and his character and just the subject matter, that's not really the subject matter people really care about it per se. But he made it entertaining. He made it thought-provoking. It made us that we really want to know the details about what happened. That's what I really liked about that movie.
Yeah. 1976, it was still fresh too,
Yeah.
Watergate.
Right, right. So I mean, it's not easy necessarily to make a movie based on true events to make it compelling because people already know a lot, or they think they know a lot of the
Yeah. Well,
story, I guess.
I think he got this movie made before the book came out.
Mm.
He pounced on it and acted really quickly.
Mm.
Okay. But so John, you mentioned Butch Cassidy is your number one, though, right? Or you saying that?
I wouldn't say it was number one. I had like the way I had three movies.
That
I
works
had
out because
Spaghetti.
you and Phil both picked Butch Cassidy as the
Oh,
number
really?
one, so he
Yeah.
can talk Butch.
I try to prioritize movies based on how he changed the conversation, not about how successful they were. So
Yeah.
things where he made a change in society.
Okay.
Or in cinema.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen that one, but I have seen it. Of course, Woodward and Bernstein, blew up Watergate. That was,
Yeah. Great cast in that too.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I remember
Jason
there.
Robards and Jack Warden.
It was like a testament to his acting. There was one scene, it's like 7 minutes long, and the entire scene was him calling sources on the telephone,
Mhm.
just just dialing different sources, piecing things together. And Redford has like this ability to demonstrate how he's working through things mentally, like in a lot of his roles. He doesn't come across as a expert necessarily on everything all the time. He's very thoughtful, very methodical in the way that
Measured, yeah.
like an everyman type thing.
Stated.
And he brought that to that role, I thought.
I thought he took a minimalist approach to it. He showed that sometimes not saying something is bigger than saying something. A lot of times actors feel like they need to say something. Sometimes just be quiet.
Yeah. Kind of
And
like
that speaks
the Vince
louder.
Gilligan stuff, the
Yeah.
Better Call Saul and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the new one that's named slipping my tongue.
Pluribus.
Pluribus. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of unspoken just
Yes, it is.
emoting and acting in those.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I have to agree. I think that's probably, I mean, as far as just an acting role, I think that is one of Redford's best, just straight up acting roles out there, as far as the movie goes and All the President's Men. I mean, being a history teacher too, and that kind of subject matter when we talk about Cold War era kind of things and coming into that part of American history, getting kids to sit there and talk about Watergate and stuff like that. I mean, it interesting for me. But like I thought it was, out of all the movies that we had on there, just as far as acting goes, I thought that was definitely one of his best roles that he did acting wise.
So he did like three movies that kind of almost call it a trilogy: 3 Days of the Condor, All the President's Men, and The Candidate. They were all reasonably in the same kind of, probably within 5 years, I guess.
Probably
Sort
within
of
about 3 years, yeah.
kind of encapsulated the political climate of the 70s. Did a really good job of that.
I really
Yeah,
like The Candidate too. Shout out to The Candidate there.
Yeah.
I want to ask, I think, what's his name? Bill here.
Yeah.
A question, because he was a history teacher. I'm curious to know, because obviously kids don't necessarily like reading books. Do they take the movie as being more truth than what's actually in the book? Almost kind of like what JFK did when they did that movie, and everybody thought that was what actually happened. But
I'll tell you, if you want to mess them up when it first comes on, when they see based on true events, they think right there everything in is true because they're like, hey, it's based on true events. So yeah, in a class, depending on the grade level, um, when you get to that, we're talking about juniors and that. And then if I mess around and throw it in with my government class, I got sophomores. But yeah, I mean, I have to make sure that what they see on the screen, that not all that's 100%, true American history. Oh, there, I got to throw a little different background to give them a little thing on it. But
You're showing them the Oliver Stone stuff. Yeah, you gotta double down.
Right. Be careful. Yeah.
All right. Anybody have
You ever-
anything else on All the President's Men?
Nah, I didn't
Other
get a
than
chance
it
to watch
was,
that one.
it was the first movie I ever saw him in, and it's sort of why I would later go on to see a lot of his movies, because I felt like he was a reliable actor that always turned in a good performance. And
Mhm.
we could all sit here and name a list of 10 actors that had great movies and then had crap movies.
Yeah.
We can make a nice list of crappy Robert Redford movies too. Don't don't mistake that.
Oh,
3 days of the
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Wow.
But
Yeah,
I
that
feel like
one I'll sit
Redford
in.
was almost always the bright spot in every movie he was in.
all,
He did
all
stand
hope
out.
is lost. All hope is lost. Is the most boring movie in the world, and it's literally just Redford on screen for fucking an hour and a half.
Yeah, you're watching all these 2000s Redford
Speaking of
movies. I don't know why you'd
I was
start there.
watching.
Speaking of movies,
I was
where you
watching
fall
what was
asleep.
available for free. I was watching what was available for free on streaming.
I got you.
I didn't want to pay for shit till I had to.
Well, yeah, we watched that, and Lisa's been sick ever since then, so that must be the reason.
You broke Lisa, man. What the
Hey,
fuck?
Hey.
I didn't nominate it. I did not nominate that movie. I refused to nominate that movie.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't even think that made the list.
It didn't.
Oh.
It didn't.
Then why did we watch?
Because it was
That's
like Jeremy said, it was a free Robert Redford movie. You didn't have to pay for it, and it's doing it.
Yeah, and there's not that many that are free out there. Trust me, there's not that many that are free.
Right.
No, they're still viable and relevant.
Well, I found a list online that it made a top 10 list of somebody's favorite Robert Redford movie. Some critic. So.
I just saw something on the other day, and I'm like, why? Oh no, I was making a bracket, and it was a director. Why the hell was that in a bracket? I forget. I don't know. I was making some bracket, and it was on it. I'm like, why?
Well,
I'm like,
Jeremy,
watching it,
you're up
watching it again.
next. And
Yeah,
your pick, your primary was Our Souls at Night from 2017, and your backup was A Walk in the Woods from 2015, which I want to say I watched today. I really disliked the book. This was the rare case where the movie's better than the book, but they changed a lot.
I didn't know there was a book even, but
Yeah.
I like you said, I went with a lot of newer Redford picks because I watched this free stuff first, and I mean I started off watching The Discovery. The first free movie I found was The Discovery on Netflix because it was a Netflix movie, and I watched it and I was not impressed. It
Never
was more
even
of a
heard of
Jason
that
Segel.
one.
Yeah.
He discovers that there is an afterlife. And Robert Redford does. He plays a
Yeah,
scientist,
but
discovers there's an afterlife, and his
but we're,
son
we're here to
Jason
talk about
Segel.
Our Souls at
I
Night.
know. But I started off there, and I started going to all the.
It's like the fifth
doing-
or sixth time that Fonda and Redford were in a movie together.
Which that's actually the reason I picked it, because I watched Barefoot in the Park first because that was free on Prime. I watched that first, and then I saw that this movie was him and Fonda together again, like 50 years later, and I'm like, there's some kind of poetry to that. Like
That
it's the
wasn't
last
even
movie they were
that
ever.
was Barefoot in the Park was their second movie together.
Ugh.
He had a bit part.
Well-
His very first role was in a Jane Fonda movie.
Barbarella?
Well,
No,
Oh.
before that.
it's the fact that they were the main characters in these movies, not that
Yeah.
just happen to be in the
Yeah,
same movie.
yeah.
But and I kind of have a theory. I mean, A Walk in the Woods was a good buddy comedy. I kind of debate which one to nominate first, but Our Souls at Night, like, really, it hit me because I'm like, not just because of that fact that it's the two of them together again. I think it was the last movie together, probably, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah,
the
I'd
fact
say.
that I liked it. I mean, at first when it started off, it was kind of slow, and I'm like, I read the synopsis of it, like, kind of, and I was like, this sounds boring. But then I watched it, I'm like, this movie actually is really like heartfelt and makes you realize like you grow up, well, not grow up, but you live your life in this neighborhood when we have kids and everything for most of the years. You don't even know your neighbors. You really don't even know them until you get older, and all that's left is the ones that you didn't never really talk to, but they're there. They've been there for like 30, 40 years. And I have grandparents, and one died on each side first. And the fact that like my grandmother would tell me like how lonely she got without my grandfather, and how it wasn't a romantic thing even. It was just someone to talk to, someone to spend time with constantly. So this movie like really just I don't know, it hit me hard for some reason. I mean, plus it got me thinking like, if my wife died first, would I be willing to do like a deal like that? Like it made me think about that.
Yeah,
Even
so
though hopefully
what
many years from then.
happens what happens here, the synopsis, I guess, is Jane Fonda's character goes to Robert Redford's house. They're both, 70s, 80s by now, and knocks on his door and asks if he'd be willing to come over to her house and sleep in her bed with her at night because she's lonely.
And
And she
she
can't.
straight up says this is not a sexual thing. Like that's the important thing is that she straight up says that in the beginning. Like this is just like a companionship
Yeah,
thing.
until they get it on.
Right. Till
Well,
the
yeah, but I mean,
inevitable happens, yeah.
It's Robert
Yeah, but
Redford
it's a very
as
slow burn.
What do you expect from two
it.
superstars from the 70s? You can't have a movie in the 70s without
I
Two
mean,
superstars in their 70s.
Henderson.
exactly. I mean, I like family dramas like this. Like it kind of
Hmm.
always hits me, especially when I have a family. Before I had a family, these movies would bore the shit out of me. But I have a family now, so and the fact that like her son like in his life comes into it a little bit and like kind of screws everything up a little bit, and his daughter comes into it and doesn't really screw anything up, but kind of gets her opinion heard. And I love that he's like so nervous about what the neighbors will think when it first starts. That like he goes through the side door so that his neighbors don't see him going into her house.
Right, all the
Like it's kind of like
gossipers. Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
almost
comes in the
cute.
back. Hmm.
I
Like
like the old
behind
men
him.
teasing him in the coffee shop.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
Hear,
with
I
the
know.
hear
movie,
about the guy who started having sex again?
Bruce Dern, right? Bruce
Was that
Dern's one of
Bruce
those
I
Dern?
guys.
mean,
I guess it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Now that I'm
Bruce
thinking
Dern
back on
shows
it.
up in Robert Redford films. It seems like they had some sort of
relationship.
he put him in several movies. It seems like.
I mean, but overall, I mean, I enjoyed it. I honestly can't explain why I enjoyed it so much, but I just did. It was a really good movie. I felt it was a
Uh,
good storyline, and you got completion on it. There was a start, middle, and completion. Like there was no, you're not left wondering anything. It just told a good story and said goodbye.
yeah,
So
I think the movie is it's about grace. He has this line in the movie says, I don't have to be mystic to be meaningful, and so
yeah.
it's really about just being and being seen.
Hmm, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just
And
thinking, here you are falling asleep during Ordinary People, but you stay awake for the geriatric
Yeah.
group.
It's the trains. The trains kept him excited.
Yeah.
plus, you want to say like he doesn't say much. Like you were talking about a movie earlier where he doesn't say much, like but he still like gets the point across. His character is a man of very
Yeah.
few words in the movie, but he like you get his feeling, you get his emotions in the movie,
Yeah.
and I like that he carries his pajamas and a little freaking rolled up shopping bag underneath his arm the whole way. That kind of made me laugh every time he did it. There was a little things in this movie that really like, and
Hmm.
plus her drunken piece of crap son, like that kind of made me watch like hate him, and that gave me like a villain in the movie, so it was kind of like a good thing.
It was the 80-year-old walk of shame he was doing
Yeah, he
with the
was.
bag.
Yeah. I like this movie.
But
Lucy
see,
and
that's
I
the other thing
liked
is
it. We liked it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you like that,
I
I'd
can't I
recommend
can't
The Old Man
imagine.
and the Gun. It's kind of a similar vibe. But he's an old man
I
who
can't.
robs banks, but tries to be nonviolent about it. And everybody thinks he's the most charming person in the world. That's how they're describing him to the police all the time.
Hmm.
I honestly can't
Definitely.
imagine being ashamed at that age of what you do. Like at that age, I would just be saying like, "Fuck it all, I'm doing what I want."
They're from a time when people were more uptight, though.
Yeah, and isn't it like Texas or something? Isn't it like a more conservative area to begin with?
Were they in Texas?
I I'm trying to think where they were. I can't
I'm
remember
not
what
sure. I
state they
thought
were
it
in.
was Maine, but still,
I think you're right. Maine sounds
conservative
right.
Maybe
bastion.
maybe that's why I liked it too because it was a Northeast movie. Those always seem to like sync with me more.
There was a point where she offers him some wine just before they go to bed that night, and He's like, "Oh no, I'd rather have a beer." And it just occurred to me, I had a flash. I was like, "This man has a beer every movie."
Pretty
Like,
much.
yeah, like he's having beers in The Way We Were when Barbara Streisand comes
Downhill
into the
racer.
cafe. Downhill Racer. I think on Barefoot in the Park. I think he didn't want to drink any of the shitty wine that the International Man of Mystery wanted him to drink. He rather had a bottle of beer, that type of thing. So
I
that was a common thing
yeah,
that showed up in his movies.
not not in Jeremiah Johnson. He didn't have any beer in Jeremiah Johnson.
No.
No.
Okay.
Got
Well, for every
chased
rule,
by a
there's an
bear, but
exception, right?
you got chased by a bear, but there was no beer involved.
Yeah. I'm sure it wasn't true of every movie. It wasn't like Hitchcock showing up in his movies or anything, but there was
Yeah,
enough
he did
evidence.
drink a lot of beers.
It
Yeah.
was noticeable.
Yeah.
Candidate might have drank a beer.
Yeah, may have. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, over the two movies, that was
Um,
definitely the keeper for me. I don't know why I picked it. I
on
honestly can't explain why
on
I connected with it
Hot
so much.
Geritol sex in the night.
Mm.
Our souls
That
at
was
night.
one scene. And
Yeah.
hey, Jane Fonda may have been 70 something in that movie, but I would still hit it. Just saying that.
All righty then. So I just want to say that A Walk in the Woods, the book, is this guy was in I think he was in his 40s. They aged him up to their 60s. And in the book, he quit every step of the way. And in the movie, he persevered for the most part until they got injured.
Mm.
It's a different story.
Mm.
But
It's
the book
him and
frustrated
Nick
me.
Nolte. Nick Nolte is so funny in that freaking movie. Nick Nolte is such a
Yeah.
funny character.
And the guy's supposed to be like 100 pounds heavier than Nick Nolte, too.
Mm.
Mm.
I got
All
Beulah panties.
Yeah.
He's like, what'd you do? Take a sail off a sailboat?
That was in the book, actually, the laundromat flirt.
Mm.
That made me Nick Nolte made me laugh so hard in that movie. I
Yeah.
probably almost wanted to pick that, but I'm like, Our Souls at Night is just slightly better.
All right.
It's such an age-old thing. Sometime we're going to have to ask John what he thinks on this. Why are directors so hell-bent on irrevocably changing the book? Why isn't there a
Because
director
it was a shitty book. I hated that
Well,
book.
a couple of reasons. One, movies are for entertainment. I mean, sometimes books are really drawn out, and so you can kind of tell details, and so you can spend a whole bunch of time on all the details, and you got to entertain people. So use creative license, and you just, find a creative angle of it. There's some books, and the story is so different from each other, but people they wouldn't be interested in that story. And so most people don't read books either, so they
Yeah,
wouldn't know the difference.
I mean,
true enough.
I mean,
Like
I could spend a 3 hour podcast. I could
in
spend a
the
3 hour podcast talking about which one's gonna go, man.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
I was gonna say I could spend 3 hour podcast talking about differences between the Harry Potter books and movies and like how they screwed that up so bad. Like
Mm.
sometimes it's not always for the better to change the book, but
No.
yeah. Well, like in the book, they rent a car and drive to a different town and just pick up the trail in a new place. In the movie, Robert Redford shames Nick Nolte out of it, and they just go on hiking again.
Mhm.
yep.
Easier to do. That's
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. Makes for a better movie.
Yes.
All right. Anybody else on Our Souls at Night / A Walk in the Woods?
I really liked it. The only thing I'm saying about Our Souls at Night is I feel like if they never developed a romantic relationship, it still would have been a great movie.
Yeah.
It would have. That one scene didn't really change anything. They still were the same people after it.
Right, right.
Right.
As far as we know.
Well, I mean, that was like in the middle of the movie, so there's still a lot of movie after that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see who's next on my screen. We got The Family Plot.
All right.
All right.
And Dean's picks were Sneakers with a backup of Butch and Sundance.
All right. I'm going to get Butch and Sundance out of the way first. That movie is just eminently quotable, and dialogue has always been sort of a key for me on movies. I mean, we just did Kevin Smith. Hello. And that'll tell you why I like Kevin Smith. But I have a friend that he and I just quote that movie back and forth at each other a lot. And the most common thing we say is, you just keep thinking, Butch. That's what you're good at. But I figured someone else would pick that because it is such a big movie for him. And so I got to looking around, and I'd seen Sneakers, but I had to rewatch it. And then I had to read some of the articles about it. And at the time, it was the favorite movie that he had acted in because he didn't feel like he had to do the heavy lifting on it because his cast was phenomenal. I mean, the cast in that movie.
The president from
you
Battlestar Galactica,
Earl,
right?
Yeah.
Mary McDonnell.
Mary McConnell. You've got James Earl Jones. You've got River Phoenix. You've got Dan Aykroyd, whom I forgot was in the movie.
Mother.
Yeah, he plays Mother. Great.
Oh.
You got Timothy Busfield.
Yes, Timothy Busfield. Unfortunately, he keeps showing up in all of Robert Redford's movies, but
Right.
and it's just,
it's funny. I watched that movie the day I heard that news too.
Yeah.
It just hit like synchronicity, like.
Right.
But it's just one of those movies that when you watch it, like everything works, everything connects, everything is good, and all the jokes hit. And as a comic, I appreciate that. I can't tell you the number of movies I watch where I see a joke dropped out and I'm like, who thought that was a good idea? No, that's bad. Don't do that. But this was just like all the jokes worked. And then, like, again, Robert Redford, he said, like I said in an interview, he said he didn't feel like he had to do the heavy lifting, like he wasn't the biggest actor in the film. And so he felt like a lot more free to just play. And it was just, it's one of those movies that I could sit down and I could watch it 100 times over and over and find something different to laugh at or enjoy every time. And just, and the funniest part to me is that if you take Mother from Sneakers and move him into the movie Loose Cannons, he still kind of works.
Okay.
I love Sidney Poitier's character. I mean, he's the one that was trying to be all serious and all that. Then you had the group around him, but when his whistle drives that truck blind, it's hitting everything.
Oh my God!
I cry every time I watch that.
That was, and Redford on the freaking roof, like directing him, like, you're gonna feel a little bump. Perfect. Like, oh my God, Sidney Poitier did sell that movie like a lot. That I honestly might be one of the best hacking movies I've ever seen. Like, because like hacker movies are like their own little category, and that might be the best one I've ever seen.
Well, for me, that like the best part is at the end where the CIA is supposed to, give them all whatever, and like they're just, I swear it. I know this was not the case, but I swear it's like they didn't tell James Earl Jones what the characters were going to ask for because he just seems more and more surprised by what each one asks for. And for me, it's like some of that's kind of defying. Like one of my favorite scenes is at the end of the movie, River Phoenix is like, I want her phone number.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't give you her phone number. And she's like, wait, you can have anything you want. You want my phone number? Here, write it down. It's such a great movie.
I mean, it was really.
I like the beginning of that movie. Something in the end just didn't land for me, though. I like it up to the whole plot being exposed, but I don't know. I don't know if something about the whole Ben Kingsley and the whatever that shack was in that building. It seemed anticlimactic to me. I don't know why, but it was my first watch of it. I hadn't seen Sneakers before.
Well, I don't think the ending is always what it's made out to be. I don't think the ending necessarily ruins a movie.
I like the very ending. Like like you said, the funny bit with the phone number and all that.
Yeah, but I have heard
kind of with you. The Ben King, he just doesn't come across as that mastermind super villain.
Yeah.
You look at him, you're like, man, you got this, and then him. And
I
it's
wonder
like,
if I wonder if Marvel was kind of playing on that when they cast him as the Mandarin for that one thing.
I
I
thought
don't
that
know. I felt like Kingsley played a deeply self-interested villain, but I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've heard people say that oh, I really liked the movie, but the ending ruined it. But I don't think a bad ending doesn't necessarily. But
Didn't
that's
ruin
not
it.
exactly what you're saying, Aaron. You're saying it was
I said,
elevated.
yeah, the first half
Yeah,
I'm like really in, and then the second half just didn't live up to the first half, I felt like.
yeah,
I thought it did. The great heist at the end and trying to escape from the freaking government was freaking, or the fake government, whatever they were, was freaking incredible. I mean, and I love when I love when James Earl Jones like asking them all what they want to keep quiet about this, and the guy's like, peace and happiness on earth, and he's like, how am I supposed to do that?
yeah,
Yeah.
Like that
we're
made
the
me die
CIA. We
laughing.
don't do that.
yeah.
Right.
But again, in this, Redford is not like the all-knowing genius of this unit. He's more of a manager. He's more of a boss than he
He's
is.
a
I mean,
ringleader.
yeah, he knows how to
that's a
delegate
good point.
authority. He knows how
Yeah,
to.
I get. I look
Yeah,
at it as Redford being. He didn't want to destroy the system. He just questioned if the system should exist. So I think that was like the big thing from him. I think over time this movie just gets better. It gets more relevant the older it gets.
Yeah. I'd probably like it better with more viewings too.
yeah,
Yeah, I did have to watch it. I did watch it like over like 4 days because I literally like would watch like a half hour, or maybe would need her TV back, and then that repeated for 4 days straight. So it was. I think if I actually sat in one sitting and watched it, I definitely would like it more. But
yeah,
it just for what I saw over the time, it was good. Really good movie.
yeah,
Really good choice.
And that disconnect might make a difference. I've found that some movies we'll watch movies in like we call them movie series, where we'll watch like a half an hour of a movie and then later another half hour, because we just don't feel like committing a whole 2 hours to one thing right then and there. And I think that can make a difference in how you view the parts, the disparate parts.
yeah.
Mm.
I agree.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely makes a difference. I watch a lot of movies in parts, so it definitely like you come back and you like, but sometimes you're also trying to remember like what you watched last time. Like
No,
sometimes it's like, okay, what happened last?
come on
Right,
Like
right. Helps with comprehension.
Previously on. Yeah.
in. Sorry.
exactly. I
Yeah.
wish actually there's some app where you can do that. There's some one of the streaming services will do that and like recap like what happened so far. Like I forget which one does that, but I haven't tried it yet, but I keep seeing the option.
Interesting. This concludes part one. Please tune in on our next episode for part two.